up, everybody? We are here once again. We are Asian free today. Asian market man had to go work at the wet shop, wet market. So it's just us two darkies today. Okay. Hopefully you're okay with that. Indeed. But
Indubitably.
we're gonna talk about a darkie too. That's weird. It's darkies about darkie. A certain individual, it was reported that he went missing. Come to find out, he ain't missing. And I have my own takes about that whole going missing business because I don't. People are gonna dislike me for what I have to say, but the theory is that Mr. King Julian, had some issues pop up because of the information that he was trying to bring to attention. Okay. And we're going to listen to him first and see what he got to say, and then we'll go forward.
I know that I'm not going to live long. And that's why I put every day, every hour, every minute into building, into growing. Why am I out here working on this plastic in the fuel reactor I've been working on for 5 years, since I was 17? Why am I out here in 100-degree weather? Why am I out here despite being falsely accused and reported to the EPA and the IRS? Why am I out here despite weird black helicopters that turn off their radar transponder circling me 6 times at night? Why am I out here sleeping in my van, crazy humidity, mosquitoes, gnats flying in, and yet I still do it? Why am I out here despite having to drive 4 hours every time I want to work on this machine? Because when I was doing it in my parents' backyard, I blew myself up.
Okay, I'm gonna make sure I write this down because I'll show you guys what I mean by discrepancies, and discrepancies are big for me. Okay, I'm gonna make sure you understand this. I'm gonna write this down. 4 hours, right? Is what he said, bro.
Mm-hmm.
Okay,
4 hours.
All right.
He drives 4 hours.
All right, cool.
And I have to go to the hospital for 2nd-degree burn surgery. I do this because this is my mission that I've assigned myself to. I do this because I do not fear death. I do not fear suffering or uncomfortability. You know what I fear? I fear allowing an idea of something that may not even exist or happen have enough control over your entire life to where you're not even really living your life. That's the only thing I fear. And thus, I am completely set on what I want to do here, and nothing will steer my course but myself. And I am not a quitter. And now that I've set my mind on this, because I wish to liberate humanity, I wish to liberate humanity from this cycle in which we're bound by waste, in this cycle in which we're bound by division, in this cycle in which we're bound by not knowing ourselves. I wish to free us all from all of this. And now that I'm set on that mission, I'm not giving up. And so it will happen, no matter what. Because you know what? To me, when I'm building something, I expect it to be hard. I expect it to be uncomfortable. I expect it to be difficult. You know why? Because that's the whole point. You have to suffer to grow. You have to feel uncomfortable to attribute value to what you do.
Good. Make sure you log all this, people. Log it all. Log it all, because I'm writing down as he talks, okay? Because I'm going to come back to say some stuff.
So you may see this and you see a piece of metal with certain pieces of metal welded onto it, but I see it for what it really is. I see it because when I see this, I can go back in time to not putting it together, but the motivation as to why I put it together, the hope, the purpose, the passion, all right here embodied. My soul is within this. Just as yours is within anything you do and put your mind to as well. So if you wonder why I'm out here and why I'm not going to do anything else but continue to stay on this mission until I see it through, until I say it's complete, that is why. Because it doesn't matter what anything externally is. There is no threat. There is no uncomfortability. There is no amount of suffering that will steer me from what I wish to do, because that is the life I wish to live. It's inevitable.
Okay. He's Thanos. It is inevitable. All right. What's your thoughts on that one, sir?
You know, that old saying, when someone gives too much information, you got to take it with a grain of salt. when he started talking about mosquitoes and gnats and driving 4 hours and black helicopters flying over with the transponders turned off, and
Like, how
that
you know that? First of all, how you know that transponder is turned off? Like, come on now.
yeah, I was like, oh, okay, all right. Now, do I believe that he's doing what he's doing when it comes to turning plastic into fuel because it's all petroleum? Yeah, that's a possibility. But I think all of the other things he was talking about, that it's a lot of fluff in there.
Now, in the beginning of his video, he said, "Why do I live out here?" He said that's what he said. He lives out there on that site. Then to go back and say, "Why do I always have to drive 4 hours just to come out here and work on this thing?" So which is it? Do you live on there and deal with the mosquitoes and in your car, or are you driving from your mama's house to the site every day? 4 hours. Okay, that's my first question. Then you say you're not afraid, and this is something that you're going to do. Nobody's going to stop you. But in the same breath, as you're not afraid, you say this.
Listen, everybody. I can't go into too much detail, but there is some very, very odd stuff going on. I'm certainly under attack right now in many different ways, and I just want everybody to know to just kind of have your eyes open. And I have my eyes open, but there's a lot going on. So I'm still working. I'm still building. Nothing's gonna stop that. But I'm just telling you guys right now, be on the lookout because I'm under attack. So I've created my own gas station that makes fuel from plastic waste. Let's go.
I remember he says nothing will deter him. That's what he said, right? Nothing will deter him. Where you been for 2 weeks? Now, hear me. You said you're not afraid, and you're settled, and you ain't gonna have nobody stop you from this mission. This is your life mission. Your life mission. You are not gonna stop. But you went dark for 2 weeks, and now you won't tell nobody where you are. Like, not even your mama know. But if people are after you, how is your mama safe?
True. I can kind of believe that his life might be in danger, and I'm playing devil's advocate here, because if you look at the history of our country, especially when it comes to inventions, inventors, and you had the Invention Secrecy Act, you had the Secret Patent Program, and there's been a lot of people that had inventions similar to this that have been mysteriously taken out.
There was that black man who wasn't in Georgia. And then the couple of white guys before that who turned water into fuel.
Yeah.
You know what they never had, though? They never had threats.
Yeah, that's true.
They just went missing.
Bye-bye.
Okay. Yeah. Now, my problem with this is he had also collected some money. This is where my issue popped in. He had collected money, and it was not soon after that the whole I went dark business, and he started talking about these threats. I found that kind of weird that you say that you had now this conversation about the EPA and all, but you have on video showing yourself certified by the government to do what you're doing. So how are you saying that you're falsely reported to the EPA when the EPA gave you the okay? I'm confused, man.
So you're calling it a grift?
I call it a grift because the technology he's talking about is not something that's not done already. It's being done. It's not. He didn't invent this particular thing. Okay, he's just doing it without the conventional governmental or big money behind it. He's just doing it on his own.
Yeah,
that's it. So he's not. It's the whole plastics to fuel thing and waste plastics to fuel is not new.
Is it illegal?
No,
Hmm.
no.
So if it's not illegal, what is he running from? If he's
That,
just
that's my point. I don't know.
if he, I mean, he's repurposing plastics and waste.
Mm-hmm. Now, the only thing I can see it being illegal is with the waste, but how he's doing it and in what state. That's the only thing I can see it being. You know how some states are really stupid about how they handle waste and what you do and can't do with it. Outside of that, I don't know what exactly he's talking about. I really don't. And therein lies my problem. Now, maybe somebody can tell me what exactly, what you call it, what am I missing? Tell me what I'm missing. Let me see if I can find that.
I don't know. You know, now that you put it that way, it's you know, I'm wondering why black helicopters are flying over him. You know, transponders turned off when this isn't even illegal to do. Anyone can go out there and repurpose waste. Now, certain EPA regulations and stuff you probably got to follow. Probably, especially when it comes to dealing with fuel. But I don't see what he would be running from if this is already being done.
Mm-hmm.
Recycling petroleum, things created from petroleum or oil, or whatever.
Let me see if I can find it here. Okay, I think this might be it here. Let me show you. I'm going to send it to the private chat here, and so we can bring it up. Because he has already bragged about it being something that he got approved to do. And that's the crazy part for me, that if you say that the government approved it for you to do, then that would probably be the last thing that they would do, is to come back after you, knowing that they already told you on paper that you're good to go. You get what I'm saying? Like it just seems a bit contrived for you to make me try and believe that what you're showing me actually has some merit to it. I'm leery, and it's probably bad that I'm this leery, but I am.
Yeah, I get why you are, and why would you post it all over? Like, if you was doing something that could possibly get you in trouble or get you taken out in some way, shape, or form, and you're creating something or you have an invention, I wouldn't be posting that stuff all over social media, man. You know what I mean? And if you're that worried about your well-being, why would you post it all over the place like that?
Right. So here he is showing everything off.
This plastic diesel. In this can here, I have plastic. Inside of this 1928. Right now, we just got the engine started. Oh my goodness!
So he's all over the place.
Yeah.
So I don't buy for a minute that what you're doing has concerns that you really think that are concerning. I don't see the concern.
Mm-hmm.
I simply don't. I do not believe. I'm sorry that I don't, but I do not believe that you're in as much danger as you say you're in. I think that you believe you might be in danger, but I don't think you're in danger. I don't. And that might be a sad state on my, the way I see things. But again, look again.
Have created diesel from plastic waste. The entire world deserves to know and understand that plastic is not waste. It is not trash. It is fuel. Plastic has more energy within it than gasoline and diesel and jet fuel combined. If we throw it in our oceans, plastic has so much oil content in it that if we were to convert every bit of plastic in the ocean into oil, we would be able to run our world for over 30 years. It is $84 billion worth of plastic in the ocean. Imagine the landfills. The landfills are gold mines. We have not been told the truth.
Now, hear me out. You have not been told the truth. That's what he says, right?
Yeah.
Okay. I want you all to see this. They've been doing this already, people. This is not something hidden from people's. This has been going on. He's just been able to do it without government funding, and he's just been able to do it without the government approval. But he has the government approval by the EPA because he has the certification that says he's allowed to do it. So if that's the case, then how are you managing to run? Why are you running? Why are you running?
Why? Yeah, and how does he know how much plastic is in the bottom of the ocean? Did he say $80 billion worth of? Like, how do you know this stuff? You just throwing out random numbers?
Apparently. So Stanley Myers was the guy I was thinking about. Stanley Myers is was a dude back in the day who made his car run off water.
Yeah, I remember.
He ended up going poof, bye-bye. No announcements. He didn't say anything big. You're just gone. But this idea that somehow this kid is doing something that no one else is doing is factually false. And because it's factually false, I think people are running with this idea simply because he's an independent doing it. And if you say you're already independent doing it and you're doing it to the point where people in the government that gave you approval, then how in the world are you running? What threat are you to them if they gave you the okay?
That's true. And it's also, the race angle. You know what I mean? It's just like this young black man is turning plastic into gasoline. But a lot of these hoteps out there, didn't do any research like you just did. It's now live, showing that it's been going on for years. Recycling has been going on for years. Repurposing plastic has been going on for years. A lot of the plastic or a lot of the fuel that we put in our cars are recycled. It's from recycled products.
This isn't something I think is going to be. I suspect there is something else going on.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not saying that he's doing this as a plot necessarily, but I think he's playing to the idea that this is something that he is in danger for doing. That's what I think he's doing. He's playing to this stereotypical idea that people are after me because. And I don't think it's going to work out for him. I don't think so.
No.
And it's unfortunate that it has to be this way, but again, I can't trust it.
Have you seen if there's
being pessimistic though?
Have you seen that there's a GoFundMe for him yet?
Not yet. But like I said, his platforms jumped way up in terms of to the millions of subscribers. So he did get some, and I think there was a 20K donation that was made up from what I've seen. I'm still looking for the site for it. So the question still remains: what was he using that money for? If it was for the creation of things, don't know. It just seemed time-wise, it just seemed weird that he would go dark right after that happened. That's all. It just seems weird to me, and I don't want to vilify the guy, but at the same time, I there's just too much going on, man. It's too coincidental, and I don't take kindly to this type of coincidence being a one-off. I look at that and I see red flags.
Oh yeah,
I see red flags. I don't like having to see red flags, but okay, here it is. Okay, good. This is what it is. I knew I would find it eventually. This was him here, okay? Let me get this bring it to the up.
This is real diesel. This is real diesel with that dark of an exhaust. You saw the exhaust off of plastic diesel. And what did Chicago have to say? What do you guys have to say for what you saw? What do you think? Plastic is not waste. It is fuel. One more time. Plastic is not waste. It is fuel.
Wait for you to see it. It's coming. There it is.
Hmm.
All right. So let's go find that GoFundMe. You know me. I'm going to find it.
Oh, yeah. See how much he's raised already.
Julian Brown's missing investors GoFundMe doubles amid kidnapping claims. Doubles.
What's it at right now?
Brown was named a 776 Climate Fellow and received a reported $100,000. In April 2025, Brown launched a GoFundMe and the development of the solar power vision of plastoline device. The campaign initially raised $16,000, but now has surpassed $31,000 as concerns over his well-being gain traction. Okay? So when I tell y'all that the money seems to be an incentivized issue, just saying. I'm not saying he's not in doing it, what he's doing with the invention side of it. I have no doubt that he's done it. Because like I said, there is a blueprint for it. It's not something that he has to create on his own. You can be a brain, and he seems like a very intelligent young man. I'm not saying no. But he seems like a very smart kid who can take what has been done and replicate it. And that's easy enough to do if you're smart. And he is. Not saying the man ain't smart. I just find it weird that you have a GoFundMe set up and then in the midst of the GoFundMe, you start saying issues about disappearance and then you disappear and the money just goes doubles.
Now, my question would be, is there a patent for the whatever turns the plastic into fuel that was created prior? Is there already a patent for that thing?
Let's find out.
You know what I mean? You know where I'm going with this?
Mm-hmm.
Because if he's copying something that's turning that plastic into fuel, maybe that could be the issue. Copyright and the trademark and all that stuff.
Conversion of waste plastics material to fuel. Okay. Inventor David McNamara and Michael Murray, 2010. Okay, let's bring it up. You know how we do here. We don't just talk. Here you go. All right. Conversion of waste plastics. That's what that says, right? To fuel. There's a process described by treating plastic waste material to provide at least one specification fuel product. Plastics material is melted and then processed in a oxygen-free atmosphere and provide pyrolysis gases, and the gases are brought into contact with plates in the contactor vessel so that the same long chain gas components condense and return to be further pyrolyzed to achieve thermal degradation. So they're making gas, liquid, and thermal degradation. And they have the patent right here, 2010, worldwide applications. Applied and filed. 2012, assigned to Sinar Plastics Recycling Limited. So he's not a one-off. He's not an originator. He's using a process that can be found online and replicated. I'm not, but I'm telling you, that takes some intelligence to do. I'm not saying
Yeah.
you got to MacGyver something to do it on your own. So I'm saying I'm giving him his props. The man's got a brain, but just because you got a brain don't mean you don't got a grift too.
Yeah, and then the only reason I asked that was if it's already a patent for it, and he took that, recreated it, and is using it. I think that would be where the issue comes in. Because what if you created something and you have a patent for it, then you turn around and see somebody create the same exact thing, they're grifting off your creation. That would upset you.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. Maybe.
He's 21 years old, widely followed under the username Nature Jab. His Instagram audience is approximately 1.8 million. He gained attention for founding Nature Jab as his work on plastiline, a prototype device that claims to convert plastic waste into usable fuels, including petrol, diesel, aviation fluid, via microwave. So, I'm just saying, I have questions. I have more than enough questions to think that something is not right. Like I said, his mother confirmed to the media that he's alive, but declined to give his location or further details. And that's problematic to me. People may not agree with that as problematic, but to me, it's a big deal.
Yeah.
But anyway, what are you thinking, man? What are you thinking for real? Like, do you think that he actually is he missing because he's in danger? Or do you think he's missing because he's trying to see how long this can go on, see how much money can come out of it?
I don't think he's in danger. He could be running from the patent police too. Like, they want their cut. They're like, you owe us for whatever you did. That is our product that you're using to create this stuff. You're making money on social media using our creation to promote, plastiline or whatever. And they're probably like, hey, we need our money. And so he creates a GoFundMe to probably pay off a debt.
I'm just confused by it, man. I really am, and I don't want to be confused by it, but at the same time, bro, like he's been on the news with it.
Yep. But that's where he messed up. You can't go on the news with stuff like this because that red flag went up, and they were like, "Who is this guy?" They're like, "Who is this guy creating gasoline out of plastic?" And I want to know about how he's doing it and where did he get the idea from that, because we're the ones who created it. Not saying multiple people can't come up with something. But, I'm really thinking like he found a way or found this patent, found the components, how they created it. He just recreated it and is doing what he's doing. And maybe they're asking questions. Maybe the people that own it, that control the patent, are asking questions. That's what I would say.
I'll play the news report that he put on his. It's on his TikTok. I'm not. This is what he put up there, not me. He put this up, so he's showing himself on the news. Okay, and I figure if you get this far, then you must have something in your back pocket to back it.
Innovator Julian Brown.
And Julian is working on something extraordinary, taking two environmental wrongs and making a potentially huge environmental right. His invention is called plastiline. Now, if you can't guess by the name, it's gasoline made from plastic.
That's right.
To share his story, Julian joins us now. And thanks for joining us today. And
I'm on the news. I'm on the news. Shut up.
Well, thank you guys for having me here so much. My passion really started back when I was a kid. I always cared about the environment. And when I was in 10th grade, I was inside an environmental science class, and they showed us a video of the ocean and the state of it and how the turtles and the birds were suffering because of plastic. And all I could think was, well, I'm recycling, so I'm not contributing to that. And then I did research and found that less than 5% of plastic is actually recycled. And I realized that it all kind of was a big, I guess, kind of scam in a way, because they told us they're recycling and they're really sending this recycled plastic to nations across the world.
Right.
And so that made me want to develop my own solution so it can actually truly be recycled. And I found that plastic is made of petroleum and that it can be turned back into petroleum.
Dude, thank you so much for doing that. I know we talk about that a lot, recycling and how a lot of it doesn't actually get recycled. It's so great to meet someone who's like, no, let's figure out a way to do it. How do you create that petroleum-based plastic into fuel? What are you doing to it?
So I use the process of microwave pyrolysis.
Now make sure you log that. Okay. What does the patent say? That's exactly what they do.
Yep. Now,
Okay.
do they own the process, or do they own the way to make that process happen?
All I know is that they said this is the production of liquid hydrocarbon mixtures from oil, shale, oil sand, non-melting, and similar materials, coal, rubber waste, and plastics. Don't know if they patented the process or what. This is what it says here. They say a publication number US 200-5316A, apparatus for fractionating hydrocarbon oil vapor. And then they have a whole bunch of processes. So method of polymerizing vinyl, lubricants, controlling alcohol fermentation. So they look like they patented all of the procedures from what the breakdown looks like here. Method for and system for transferring plastic waste into fuel having properties of diesel and heating oil. They have it all here under the patents.
Yep. That's where he messed up.
Okay. They have it all here.
And I know that sounds like alien gibberish, but it's chemistry. And essentially what it is when you heat something up in an environment without oxygen. So I take a pressure chamber, almost think about kind of like a crock pot, and it's a completely sealed enclosed environment, meaning no air can enter or leave. And I put it under vacuum. So there's no oxygen molecules, and I use microwaves to provide heat. And because the plastic is being heated up, but there's no oxygen, a fire cannot start because a fire needs oxygen to exist. And so instead, the plastic actually breaks down to its basic chemical constituents under the heat. And like I said, it's made of petroleum, so it ends up just kind of reversing the manufacturing process of making plastic and turns it back into petroleum.
This is awesome.
That is really, really cool. I can think of burning plastic and black smoke doing that.
Again, information that he could have found with this issue.
Now, do they have a picture of the people that created the patent? Do they have a picture of their micro whatever processor how they create it?
Yes, right, yeah.
I want to see what it looks like.
Okay, hang on. Let me bring that up. Here we go. All right, so right here is there. Okay, so they have the process here. The purge, the fuel is coming out, the recycling, the diesel product comes out here, the kerosene product, the oxidizer, the furnace right here, the water waste, which he has to let go too because you're splitting the two things because the part water and the part the other chemical. And then you have this guy here doing the same thing. So they break it down for you. Let me rotate this. There you go. The vapor temper, the outlet. They have it all here. Distillation. They have all the numbers. They show you what to do. So if he wanted to, he could use this process and replicate it.
And he's not dumb.
No, he's a smart kid.
This looks like a bunch of lines and numbers and stuff to me, but probably to him, and he can look at that and know exactly how to make one of those things.
I'm just saying, people, like, I'm not, look, my issue isn't with how intelligent the man is. My issue isn't with whether or not what he's doing will help society or not. That's not my issue. I see something else afoot here, and it does not bode well for me thinking that he's doing this for the goals that he says he's doing it. That's what I mean. He's not doing it for the goals that he says.
And based off the patent, he couldn't even do that. He couldn't do anything with it.
Right.
What is he going to do with something that's already patent? He can't, you know what I mean? He can't create a fuel station using this patent and start selling this stuff, because then he'll get really sued. So, I mean, why is he doing it?
Okay, here's a good breakdown. This is the breakdown of it. Okay, this is what the patent's breakdown is. Listen to, and tell me this sounds almost exactly to what he just said.
Mm-hmm.
Let me see if I bring. Okay, here we go. Summary of the invention. According to the invention, there is a provided process for treating waste materials, plastics material, to provide at least one fuel product. The process comprising steps of melting the waste plastic material, pyrolyzing the molten material in an oxygen-free atmosphere to provide pyrolysis gases, bringing the pyrolysis gases into contactor, having a bank and a condenser elements, and pretty much what he's saying, to some long chain gas components, condense on said elements, returning said condensed long chain material to be further pyrolyzed to achieve thermal degradation. That's what he said he did. The only word he added was microwave. But these people are doing the exact same thing because they're adding heat, oxygen free. So obviously they're not using, you can use either microwave or fire to create that heat. The process is the exact same. It's right here. And again, I'm not the most intelligente person, but what this is saying is exactly what he just said he was doing.
Interesting.
So can I say that he's doing something groundbreaking? No. It's not groundbreaking. Is it cool?
Can we say it?
Yeah.
Can we say that it has nothing to do with his creation or what he's doing? It has more to do with the patent and him using it and promoting something that's already patent for whatever he's doing it for. He's probably getting some type of kickback or some type of money for that patent and utilizing it.
Mm-hmm.
So would it be fair to say that he's probably running or hiding for more of like legal reasons? Because nothing he's doing is bad. It's going to get him taken out. I think it has a lot to do with lawsuits. That's what I would think.
Yeah. Like the whole breakdown of this patent, they go into all of it. When the tank, how they split the elements from water to the gas, all of it. They have it split out in detail. How they create the diesel portion of gas, how they create regular gas out of it. So they have an entire breakdown just in the patent alone. If you were smart enough, you could read through this whole thing and replicate it. You could. And like I said, I found that this is where it really kicked me off, is to find the money and the time the money came in to when he disappeared. And then the doubling of the money after the disappearance, especially the fact that he started talking about it after you went everywhere with this. He went on news, and then you start wondering why people are you were doing this for months. Nobody did anything to you. Then all of a sudden you said you were working on it. Here's my problem, the timeline. You were working on it. You burned yourself up in your mama's home, so you went offline to perfect it. But you take it everywhere in your suits. You got it okayed by the government. People are using it. You're on TV. And then all of a sudden, now it's a problem. Something doesn't bode well. Something is rotten in Denmark. I smell some fish.
Remember, he said he got second-degree burns operated on. And that's what I said in the beginning. When someone gives too much information, there's something that's a little off right there. You know, when you're trying to sell a story, you have to you have to like talk about the struggle and over explain and add stuff in there that wasn't true to try to sell yourself, especially if you're trying to sell something like this. I think it's lawsuits chasing him. I don't think it's gunmen in black suits. You know, I think it's lawsuits, and he's got to get up out of there.
You think it's that much, huh?
I mean, you got to think of the people that created this, and they see somebody else doing it, and they're on the TV and they're on the news and they're talking about a product that they did, their patent, and this guy is talking about it like it's his creation. Yes, he's probably getting sued. He's probably getting sued. That's why he moved out in the middle of nowhere away from his mama's house, because it had nothing to do with black helicopters. It had something to do with them. They knew where he lived, so he started sleeping in his van out in the middle of nowhere so they wouldn't find him. That's just me. I don't know. I might be wrong.
Oh no, look, it could very well be, man. Could be for sure. Could be for sure. The I don't know part of it is the crazier part, but it is. I could understand it. I can. At this point, man, I'm leery. I'm hoping I'm wrong. I really am hoping I'm wrong. When I say that, I hope I'm wrong. I hope I'm wrong to the point where his goals and motives are pure. I hope I'm wrong with that. I hope he is definitely trying to make some difference, and that the things he's trying to run from, and I don't want him to be in danger, but that he's doing this for the reasons that he says.
Yeah.
But it just seems too fishy. And so I have the right to be skeptical.
Yeah. And like Mike said in the chat, you can create anything you want. You just can't make a profit off of that creation. The patents are out there. If they didn't want people learning about it, they wouldn't even publish it. But they publish it. So if you recreate it, you just can't make any type of profit. If you're just using it for yourself, use it for yourself. And that goes for anything you create, you inventors out there. You know, if you got something that's going to help mankind and there's no patent out there for it yet, and you come up with an original something, don't go telling the whole world about that stuff. Don't promote it. Just do it. Keep it to yourself, your close friends, and leave it at that, unless you want to make money. But the government's known to take people out when they got a patent they want. Hence the Patent Secrecy Act. You need to look into that. Look into that.
Yes, they can make you look crazy. However, I don't know if that's this. What he doesn't sound crazy.
No,
he doesn't sound crazy. Just I don't know, man. Again, the discrepancy of where you're working at. I thought you were done with it. You've taken it everywhere and you have all these demonstrations of it working in cars and getting it to people, but then you still say that you're going to try and get this. You have to work on it. There's something off.
Yeah,
we'll see.
What is his invention still just sitting out there in the middle of nowhere right now, or did he pack it up? Did they come and confiscate it? You know, that there's a lot of questions. He just left it. All that work he put into that invention, he's just like, screw it, and I'm out.
But he said he wasn't going to do that. Remember?
Yeah, he did.
Yeah.
So something's off.
We're gonna see. We're gonna look. For me, at least for sure, we're gonna keep our eye on it and see what pops off. If he comes out of hiding and finally tells us why he disappeared, that'd be my one thing. If, however, you see the GoFundMe just decides to disappear, and so does he. All right, that's all I'm gonna say.
Or if there's a video of him in Dubai. Living a good life in Dubai somewhere, Qatar.
Sipping on some cognac and stuff, you know.
Yeah, some cognac. Got a good payday. Hey, that's a good grift, man. I wish I didn't have any morals and I would grift like that, but I have morals, man. I can't do nothing like that.
Yeah. His mother said he was okay. And his mother said that, but you would think he'd just say it because he could, but why would your mom have to do it? But anyway, again, that's just me. Come Friday, we have to dive back into some things that we talked about last week, and that being that individual, that bald-headed overcompensating, feminized but masculine kind of man, Eddie Michael. What's his name again?
Matthew. Yeah.
Matthew Chappell. The situation has kind of gotten a lot more volatile, to the point where he has now affiliated himself with people that most people know, who I would hope would not want to be affiliated with the kind of things that he's doing. And for those of you who are following any kind of bodybuilding history, you might know who C.T. Fletcher is.
Mm-hmm.
If you do know who C.T. Fletcher is, and you know the type of person C.T. Fletcher is, maybe you might think to yourself, there's no way that C.T. Fletcher would want himself associated with somebody who claims to want to kill women and families because they disagree with them online. Maybe C.T. Fletcher does want to do that. Maybe C.T. Fletcher is a person that wants to promote the idea of beating women and children and killing women and raping women, because that's also part of what Mr. Chappell said. So for all I know, maybe C.T. Fletcher loves that. But if Mr. Fletcher, if you hear this and you don't want your name associated with that, I would say something sooner than later and denounce this man, because he is going around trying to associate himself with you. So come Friday, we will be discussing him amongst other people who also have a history of harming children by breaking their bones, their own child, by the way. And then acting like they have custody of them, only to lie and grift even more. Ironically, he says he's family with Mr. Chappell, which makes a whole lot of sense to me. So we'll be coming with receipts. Don't worry, we'll have the receipts. And I will live on that show Friday contact Mr. Fletcher directly while live via email. So he can't say it wasn't recorded that I sent that message off to him. And if Mr. Fletcher doesn't do anything, I'll have to assume that a big name like C.T. Fletcher is fine with abusing women and calling for the death of women and rape of women he doesn't like. So the court ball going to be in their court by the time I'm done. When Savage is over with, y'all, man, look.
Oh yeah, we're coming, and he's not the only one on the docket. So there's some other guys are going to add to the docket.
Yeah, quite a few.
You know, these internet tough guy bullies that like to pick on people that think are scared of them, and this person that they're messing around with is not scared of them at all. So, you know, I despise bullies. Marlon and I talked about this backstage, how much I just can't stand people like that. So it's gonna be a good time.
I'm gonna show y'all, because I think y'all need to know who he is. I think y'all might recognize
C.T. Fletcher.
Yeah, y'all gonna know who he is, man. Trust me, y'all know who he is.
Yeah.
He has 1.5 million subscribers on YouTube. Okay. So this man has a history of fighting through a lot of things. He is not a pushover. He is he's a strong Negro. Like, I mean,
was he just a bodybuilder, or was he Mr. Olympia? Was he ever Mr. Olympia?
I don't think he performed like that. I don't think he was ever in that particular arena. But this is him. This is who he is.
Back in his day.
Yeah, he was.
Pleasure to be here. I'm going to be a little bit different than the type of motivational speaker, because that's what I do. I motivate people. Then you may have heard. I grew up in Compton, and I'm proud of that. I went to the Compton Unified School District, and everything that I do know, such as it is, came from the teachers in the Compton Unified School District. Very proud of that. And I can talk to you, I can talk to the man on the corner, and I can talk on the Senate floor with that same education that I learned in the Compton Unified School District. I don't always do it, but it's only by choice. When I train people, I have a style that's quite different. I don't pat you on the back, and I don't tell you what a good job you did. If you're looking for pity or mercy, come to the wrong place. That's not my style. I kick butt. And I don't say but when I'm kicking it. But tonight, I'm going to say but. Now, one of the jobs of a motivational speaker, I'm going to shut up because I'm old, so old people talk just don't know when to shut up. You try to shut up pretty quick.
But you can tell, okay? So he has at least sometimes heart, right? So there it is. 3-time
you have a
world
throwback?
bench press champion, 3-time world strict curl champion.
Do you have a throwback photo of him? Because
I do. I can get one right now.
Because this is after he got sick, right? Didn't he get sick?
Yeah, he got sick, and then he became a vegan for a bit.
Yeah.
And him and Ronnie Coleman are people. You know, they hang out.
Mm-hmm.
If I can find it, him and Kai Green, he hangs out with a bunch of these bodybuilders, right? This is not unusual for him. So this particular person, if you want to link yourself to this man, you're gonna have some problems, bro. I'm telling you now. You're going. This is some bad news for CT, as far as I can tell. Because there's a podcast that Eddie was on, that Mr. Matthew Chappell was on, and promoting the same nonsense. And it to me, it's problematic. But let me see if I can find a good photo of him here.
He's just, his arms are like, man.
He's not a small dude.
Nah. And what is he running about? What, 50, 60 now? And he's still.
He's older than that now, I think.
Really?
Yeah.
Well, he's got to be in his late 60s at least. Huge.
Okay, here's a good photo of him when he was young. This is him right here. Young, super young. That's him. That's the man, the myth, the legend, CT Fletcher out there.
Dang.
He's a big dude, man. He is a big dude. But I don't think that he would want his name in any way, shape, or fashion associated, for as tough as nails as he is. Because listen, I've seen him train people, and he's right. He will cuss you out. He'll call you all kind of names to get you to do the stuff. But that's in a workout. I do not believe, I can't see it. Maybe I just don't know the man enough, but I cannot see it where that man there that you heard talk, would be okay with somebody using his name in any way when they promote beating and calling for the death of women because you disagree with what they say.
Hey, let's make something clear in the chat. Marlon is not saying Mr. Fletcher here beats women.
Nope, not him.
Not him.
Nope. The guy that we covered last week, that's the clown. The bald other idiot, Matthew Chappell with the glasses, and he has that idiot, that's the one I'm talking about. He's associating himself with Mr. Fletcher. And I highly doubt that CT does that. And I don't think he knows what's happening on the ground level with his name. And I have a suspicion he'll be very sore with that sort of moniker being attached to him in any way, shape, form, or fashion. And I will make it my life's goal to make sure that any affiliation that CT has with that fool gets severed. And I hope that CT comes out and says something to the point where he demeans the shit out of him, so he feels like absolute trash. I want that to happen. I want him to be demeaned, and I want him to be so harmed physically, emotionally by what CT has to say to him that he shuts down and stays home. That's my goal. My goal is to get Matthew Chappell off the internet. That's my goal. I hope everybody is aware of this. I want Matthew Chappell off the internet. I want to cancel him, yes, because he's a sick, demented, disgusting, vile piece of crap. He needs mental help, but if nothing else, he needs to be removed from the social sphere. I said,
and everybody in his little circle, birds of a feather, really do flock together, and they're all the same, all of them, vile humans who get on these apps. They use their following to attack other people like little soy boys. They're little minions go after people like flying monkeys, and they attack. And then when they start getting punched back, they start making threats because they think someone's scared of them. Ain't nobody scared of them.
Nobody's scared.
But they're gonna find out one day. God don't like ugly. I tell you that.
So this is what we're gonna do Friday. So join us when that happens, because it's gonna get good. It's gonna get good. In any case, we'll be back then. Hopefully, Lee will be not working, and he can say, "No work. I'm working with 2 black guys that day," and show up. Ching chong chang. Otherwise, make sure y'all go check out Too Strong's videos. I might be late in the morning starting on Straight Talk because I have to take care of some stuff early in the morning, and we'll see if I get done before 9. It might be like 9:30 before I kick off. So just so you all know. Yes, Matthew Chappell. That's his name. Yep, Matthew Chappell.
Some of you guys know him as Eddie Brock. What else? What Jean Grey? What is it? Daddy Jean Grey or Jean Grey something?
Yeah, the daddy of Jean Grey or some nonsense.
Daddy of Jean, something crazy.
He's a cartoon. He's a man that has not grown up, and he thinks his whole life revolves around X-Men and Macho Man Randy Savage. He's a kid.
Yeah,
because he's mentally inadequate to the task of adulthood. That's really what he is.
Yeah.
So just so you all know who he actually is. So we'll catch up with you Friday. Make sure you guys go check out our merch when we do finally change the store over, whenever that happens. I'm running out of time to do it, but we'll be back. See you guys Friday. Make sure you like, comment, share, and subscribe. And we'll see you guys Friday. Peace.
Whoa.